As a lot of new players are joining Payday 2 currently, I see that nobody really knows how to stealth or do loud, so I guess I'll make this tutorial on how to stealth Payday 2. So in Payday 2, there's two options to take certain heists. There's a stealth way and there's a loud way. Stealth is regularly you stealth it. You make sure the alarm does not go off and you get out with all the loot. Now here's the skills that you want to do for stealth. You want Forced Friendship, Confident, and Stockholm Syndrome Basic. You want Forced Friendship for those cable ties, Confident for your ranged intimidation for civilians, and Stockholm Syndrome Basic is very advanced of a skill, as civilians are intimidated by the noise you make and remain intimidated 50% longer. It's very handy with heists that you can control and have a saw for. Now you want Resilience Basic and Transporter Basic so you can throw bags further. Now let's get to the actual skills, which is all of Shinobi right here. You get Chameleon, Cleaner, Sixth Sense, ECM Overdrive, Nimble, and ECM Specialist Aces. You get Duck and Cover Basic, Parkour Ace, it's a personal thing, and Inner Pockets Basic. You also want to get second one, Optical Illusions, Specialized Killing, Hardware Expert, Drill Sergeant, more Firepower, Kickstarter, Jack of all Trades, and Berserker Basic. Now I'll explain to you why you want extra lead. Extra lead gives you more ammo bags for your saws, which you will take to some stealth heists, but you will get rid of your concealment. Now, Jack of all Trades is very handy, as you can take things such as the ECM jammers and the body bags, which are very handy tools in stealth and to keep on at all times. Drill skills are obvious, as you want your drill to be silent so the guards do not come near it. Drill skills for quicker time, and this is for auto restarting have a 20% chance. Chameleon Ace makes it so that you can mark out guards and pick up items during casing mode. What casing mode is that you don't have your mask on, but you can walk around and spot out things, such as mission objectives and whatnot. Be careful though, as you may be in casing mode, but if you go right in front of a guard, he will spot you and proceed to shoot you, which is not that good. Cleaner gives you the ability to bring an additional body bag in your inventory, which means you can bring 2. It also increases the inventory space to 3, which means you can take 2 body bags with you at start, but you can carry 3. There's also Sixth Sense, which is a very, very handy skill in gaining the ability to automatically mark enemies within a 10-meter radius around you after standing still for 3.5 seconds while in stealth. This is very handy, as you might want to know if there's a guard or a civilian around the corner, and you might just want to stand still for a minute and see if he's there. Acing it will get you the access to all insider assets, such as the key card placement and whatnot. And cleaning costs after killing civilian is reduced by 75%. That's very handy, as you might kill some civilians while in stealth. It just happens. ECM Overdrive is more ECM skills, as the duration is increased and can now be used to open certain electronic doors, which means you don't have to use a key card to open up camera rooms and whatnot. You can just use your ECMs. Nimble is for things such as lockpicking. It's a very handy skill, as you can lockpick many things a lot faster, such as doors, which regularly take 20 seconds, but now it takes around 10 if you get this skill. You also gain the ability to camera loop, which disables one camera from detecting you and your crew for 25 seconds. It is a very, very necessary skill on heists such as Golden Grid Casino and whatnot, or other heists such as bank heists. ECM Specialist just makes you carry 2 ECM jammers and makes it so the pagers are delayed by the ECM jammer. Now, ECM jammers being delayed by pagers can go one of 2 ways. Either you are ECM rushing, which for certain maps you can do, but for most maps as of nowadays you cannot ECM rush them. Pagers delayed by the ECM jammer can either make or break a heist, because delaying the pager is very handy at first, but then you get to realize that sometimes it's not very handy at all when you need to absolutely immediately get rid of a body of a guard and answer his pager. Duck and cover basic, so you can get more stamina. Parkour basic, just so you have more movement speed. And I got it aced just so I can go the ability to sprint in any direction. It's just a thing I do. Inner pockets basic is so that you can increase the concealment of your melee weapons by 2. Because regularly melee weapons have 30 concealment, which is pretty high for the highest concealment. But if you get inner pockets, it'll increase it to 2, which makes your detection risk smaller. Detection risk works like this. The higher the detection risk, the easier you are to be spotted from far away and quickly. The lower, that means you are harder to be spotted, and it'll take longer for people to spot you. Which is very handy if you get inner pockets basic. Now in Silent Killer, I got second wind just so I can get to Optical Illusions. Optical Illusions Aced gives you the ability that you can gain 1 concealment for each silent weapon, and it reduces the penalty of silencers by 2. What are silencers? Well, they silence your gun. And silencers are very, very necessary in stealth. They're absolutely needed in stealth. Silencers silence your guns, obviously, and that means you can kill any civilian or guard without anybody getting alerted. Because if you don't have a silencer on your weapon, there's a 45-meter noise range that everybody can hear. And, well, to be frank, that's pretty much the whole map if you're trying to stealth. So, we got trip mines, alright? Trip mines are very handy in stealth. They can help you spot guards without you being there, as they work like a sensor. If guards walk by them, there's a sensor mode, and if guards walk by them, they get spotted. We're not using them for shade charges or anything, because that, causes noise. Specialized killing basic is just because I have 3 points left. Now, I got martial arts, pumping iron, and berserker. Berserker specifically for the saw, as saws are pretty handy in stealth if you know how to use them correctly. Berserker will give me up to 250% more melee and saw damage if my health is below 50%. Now, the weapons you can use are the akimbo variants of weapons, which are as follows. All these akimbo weapons with the highest concealment, except for the deagles. The deagles are very powerful, but they're very low concealment. As you can see, there's a concealment level. The higher the concealment, the lower your detection risk is. The lower the concealment is, the higher the detection risk you have. As you can see, for example, there's a Vulcan minigun. It has a concealment of 11. That means I can get spotted really easily if I carry this thing with me. Or for such things such as, I don't know, the flamethrower, concealment of 8. That means I can get my detection risk way high up. Or, sorry. Or for things maybe like the Predator 12 gauge shotgun, 8 concealment. If I equipped it, there goes my detection risk all the way up to 46. That's a very high concealment that's a very high detection risk for stealth, and you don't want that. So these 31 concealment, that means that my minimum detection risk is going to be 3. There is also the weapon of the Car 4 rifle, with the modifications such as the stealth barrel, and considering the fact that we have optical illusions, again, this skill that gives us 1 concealment and reduces the penalty of silencers by 2, that means that the concealment turns into 28 instead of 26 as it would regularly would. Now, because I have the stealth barrel, I can't get any I can't get any silencers, but if I were to equip the short barrel, the low profile suppressor is the lowest concealment penalty of any silencer, as it doesn't have any. But again, optical illusions. We can pick any silencer with the concealment of -2 and we will be fine. The bigger the better suppressor is a suppressor that is used mostly for specialized killing with suppressor weapons. You can get the medium suppressor, low profile suppressor, and that's about it for this type of weapon. But because we can get the stealth barrel, we shall. Now boost, you can get a concealment boost if you're lucky, and you can also get the aftermarket special handguard, which increases our concealment. You can get these gadgets, but they do have the cost of concealment. They either are a light or a laser. Usually you don't need these, but they're pretty handy to have. You can pick this grip if you wanted to for some stability, but none of these increase our concealment except for the straight grip, but that's DLC. Now you want the vintage mag as it increases your concealment, but it does come with a cost of making your magazine to 22. But as we are stealthing, we do not need a high magazine thing. You can pick any sight you want, except for the fact that sights can either take away 1 to 3 concealment, which is something we don't want. Now, some people take some sights to stealth. I don't get it. They just do. I don't. As I try for the most concealment. Now, the folding stock is giving us +3 concealment. That's a pretty high boost in concealment. As it will make our concealment to 28 instead of regularly 20 like it used to be. Of course, you can get the exotic receiver just because. And that's about it for our primary. Now for our secondary, we are taking the Locomotive 12 shotgun. You might have seen the shotgun in the secondary of shotguns, and it's very, very handy to bring a shotgun to stealth. The reason being is that, you know how guards, like fall down when you shoot them and kill them? Well, the shotgun, if you bring it to stealth, what it can do is that it can launch the bodies away from the eyesight of many people. It's a give or take kind of gimmick. As for example, like if there's a guard and he's like in the middle of a lobby, you can shoot the guard out of view from the civilians and other people so that he doesn't see him, and you can answer his pager very successfully. And it's very handy. Yeah. And then there's the Silent Killer Suppressor, which increases our concealment because, the penalty is -2. So this is a very high concealed shotgun. Of course, we can get our concealment boosts, we can get our many gadgets, we can get our grips. Now, the extended magazine is a personal choice because, I don't know, I like more bullets in my magazine, don't you? Of course, there's the sights. Now, you want the Tactical Shorty Stock as it gives a +3 concealment. It gives the most concealment out of this gun. You can also get things such as the Judge Shotgun with, of course, the Silent Killer Suppressor, and that's about it. This is a higher concealment of the Locomotive indeed, but for me personally, I prefer the Locomotive, as it has more in the magazine and gives you a better chance at getting that guard in case if you miss him. Now, of course, all these, and you're wondering, well, how do you stealth in Payday 2? Well, I'll show you, and I'll be right back in the middle of a game with you to show you how to stealth in Payday 2.